Hello Gemini, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Gemini for the week of July 4th. Now Gemini, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. I do not offer personal readings, and I will not send you a message on any platform, so do not get scammed. Let's go ahead and get a shuffle in here for you, Gemini. Now I'm using the Tarot Muka, the Bird Messages Oracle deck, and that's it. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. I'd also ask that you hit the like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way, especially if you watch my content regularly. Please do hit the subscribe button. All right, let's go ahead and see what we have here. I'm going to put this up here. Also take 3 of these oracle cards to clarify as we go along. All right, Gemini. Let's go ahead and see what we have here. So, something a little bit, there's something here keeping you up right now. A little bit of angst, a little bit of stress, maybe a little bit of fear. Something keeping you up late. But here's the thing. I want to paint this picture for you. I think that this is something that you care deeply about. Okay, many times when we really care about completing a goal, getting something off the ground, talking to that person, doing whatever, it's normal to be anxious about those situations. It's reminding me of this idea that, I don't know if you know this, but there are multiple forms of stress. There's stress, but then there's also eustress. Eustress, EU stress, is good stress. Okay, and the eustress comes when we're working towards something important in our life. And the thing is, you're human. Humans will always have to have stress, unfortunately. But there are obviously techniques that you can do to do stress management, like yoga or walking, meditation, exercising. There are a whole lot of techniques that you can do to manage stress. But it will, as a human, it's part of the experience. It will be there. And so I don't think that this is bad. I think that you are having a human experience, right? And that's what's showing up here. So in the overall situation, you have the 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is somebody who is stressed, anxious, staying up late at night. They're in the middle of a nightmare. And they're afraid that all of these swords, these 9 swords, are going to come through and hit them, but they don't actually do. And so when you get the 9 of Swords, it can also talk about fear casting. Being fearful of something that hasn't happened and might not ever happen. And so I would always, when you have the 9 of Swords, say, is there something that you can do to sort of separate the overthinking mind with the knowing? What do you know versus what are you kind of overthinking over? What do you overthink, right? Like, is there a situation here where you're overthinking versus what you know to be true? Like, you know that you're safe now, right? But your mind is making up all of these stories and all of this fiction around you not being safe. But what do you actually know, right? What is fact? What is fiction when you have the 9 of Swords, right? Always something to just consider. In the past, you have the 3 of Pentacles and you also have the Moon, all right? So the 3 of Pentacles is teamwork. It is, working together with others. This person's finishing a statue. Okay, they've built this statue, or whatever it is in this illustration, and that is symbolism for somebody who is maybe crafty, or somebody who maybe has a unique skill or a unique gift, craftsmanship, artistry, and if those aren't resonating with you, it means that what you do for your job, you do it with an artist's touch. You bring a little bit something a little bit extra to your job or whatever it is that you do. And it's definitely seeing rewards through those gifts. It can also, like I said, refer to your colleagues, the people that you work with as well, others. You have the Moon. I wonder if some of you may just feel a little bit suspect about somebody who you work next to. The Moon can be something that is a little bit suspect. It can mean something it can be like something that's not as it appears. However, the moon can also be a message of trusting your gut. It's a big energy of intuition. It's also a temporary situation. With the moon, sometimes it's best to let things blow over, okay? And yeah, that's a big message with the moon. Sometimes it's best to let things kind of blow over. And the reason being is that emotionally charged situations can come up through the moon card. And so before acting out of haste or acting out of anger, make sure you have the full picture. Make sure you have all the facts straight before you move. In the future, you have the star and you have the page of swords. So the star comes before the moon, but the star is one of my favorite cards to find in a tarot reading. It is your guiding light. It is optimism, hope for the future. It is happiness and positivity. The star is about a wish being granted to you. This person's pulling in a wish from the universe. They've thrown a wish out to the universe a long time ago, and now it's coming back in. And so it's a very nice card of optimism and having a bright future, right? It's also a card of healing and, kind of dipping your toes in healing waters, as it were. And so it's a really nice card if you're dealing with injuries, illnesses, ailments, anything like that. You do have this page of swords, which is maybe just asking you to take a look at something in a thoughtful manner. This could also just be your energy. It could be any air sign in your life. And the page of swords can talk about disappointing news of delay coming in the future. It can talk about just chatty, like a chatty period of time, like a lot of communication. So I'm saying maybe with this Three of Pentacles, or maybe somebody that you just have a weird vibe about that you work with. But I actually feel like this is more about thoughtful communication. I think this is more about thoughtfulness in your life and kind of separating before acting here on impulse or on an overly emotional situation. I think some of you are maybe just taking a thoughtful approach to a situation. Let's see what else we have. You have the Queen of Cups. You have the Page of Wands. You have the Knight of Wands. And you have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so pretty incredible here. You have these two Wands court cards. They actually come one after the other, showing up here in the middle. So yeah, actually now you have three people showing up here in this second layer. And so I do feel like, obviously, other people are involved here. You have threes in tarot. Threes is just the number of Trinity and unity. And yeah, so there are other people involved here. You have this Queen of Cups. I'll get back to these two in a second, but you have this Queen of Cups, which is a big message of self-care. Okay, I always say that the Queen of Cups is like one of the therapist cards in the tarot. The Queen of Cups and the High Priestess are like the therapist cards in the tarot. And so, you might be doing something where you're talking with others, or you are, talking it out with others, or, you might quite literally be taking on therapy or something. But the Queen of Cups is, if that's not the case, actually two things there. First, let me just say that the Queen of Cups is a trusted friend or ally. And so I think, going back to this example here where you're feeling a little bit unsure about somebody, I would stick to your trusted friends at this time, your trusted allies, all of those sorts of things. But on the other end, I think some of you are doing some self-care practice, okay? I think that this is probably more likely you're doing a self-care practice here because you also have the Nine of Swords in the middle at the base of the pyramid here, really kind of which again I've talked about is like fear casting, stress. Again, I think that this is probably good stress. I think that this is ultimately something that is leading to fulfillment in your life. And reason being is we have these other three cards which are nice. The Page of Wands can refer, Wands is the suit of work, career, enterprise, and so the Page of Wands can talk about potentially a job offer, job opportunity, career opportunity coming in, but it's also the energy of energy. Okay, it's saying that you're maybe full of energy, full of life at this time. Page of Wands always a nice sign. It can also just say good news is coming in. The Knight of Wands is like going to new places. Okay, the Knight of Wands is a big travel card. It could say that there's travel coming up in your future here. It can also talk about moving your location, moving your residence. However, it can also be a card of a maverick, somebody who has a lot of skills, talents, and abilities. And you could say that this person's a Swiss Army knife. Okay, they have a whole lot of tools in their toolkit, especially because we talked about this energy of artistry and craftsmanship here in the past. And I think that that's probably the more likely case for some of you. Along with that, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which the Ten of Pentacles is a major card of abundance, okay? The Ten of Pentacles says that there is like, it is windfall energy, but I want to caution you that like the Ten of Pentacles is a completion, meaning for this card to come true, like it says that you've gone through some type of long journey. And so it's not always about windfalls. It can talk about money being passed through generations for sure, and something that comes along with that is windfalls. But it's not always that. It's also like cementing your legacy, or like taking a step towards your legacy, or building your legacy in some way, building an empire in some way. And, you know, again, I think especially with this message here of you having good stress in your life, I think some of you are really seeing the end game on something that you've started here. Let's see what else we have. Okay. Very nice. So you have Raven. Listen to your intuition to receive a message from the world of spirit or a friend. Isn't that interesting? What is I talking about here? Trusted friend, ally. Queen of Cups, also psychic energy. The Raven is giving me, like, especially with that intuition. Psychic really just means intuition, okay? Something about that coming in here. You have Macaw. Think laterally to solve a problem. Love that. You're the first person to get this Macaw card. And then you also have the Resplendent Quetzal. Uncover the deity within. A very cool message as well. Seems like a very unique bird species, right? That seems like a very interesting bird species. Like if you saw a Quetzal in the wild, you'd probably be taken aback. So it's almost like maybe there's something a little bit excitingly unusual or a little bit magical here. I love this idea of thinking laterally to solve a problem. You know, do you have to take the side door exit? You know, instead of going through the front door like we always do we take the side door exit here, Gemini? You know, is there something down there that you may have not experienced or looked at? I like that idea of thinking laterally. Let's see what else we have here. You have the Six of Swords, you have the Knight of Pentacles, and you have the Two of Swords. Okay, so still not sure where you're going yet, but you know you're going somewhere, and that's exciting. And the reason is because you have this blindfold message here with the Two of Swords showing up. Twos can represent choices, decisions, options, needing to decide. And the Two of Swords is like, man, like I know I need to choose, but I'm having a hard time seeing the choice clearly. The Six of Swords is transitioning to a new place. It's kind of just deciding to get in the boat and go, metaphorically speaking, especially as you have this Knight of Wands here. So there is this idea of like knowing you're going somewhere, but not knowing where you're going yet, and that's exciting. Then you have the Knight of Pentacles as well, which is results. Knight of Pentacles delivers you the outcome of all of your hard work and reward, and all of your hard work and effort. And so it is results energy, which, you know, if you can't see it right now with this Knight of Swords, you will see it here in the future. You have the Two of Wands and the Five of Swords. So again, this person needs to decide between two wands, and this is an even bigger card of choices. The thing that's different here is this is a card of research, planning, and discovery. Versus the Two of Swords, it's like, man, I'm in my mind. I don't even want to do the research because I don't even know where to, it's like this energy of confusion a little bit. Two of Wands, no confusion. All I need to do is research, plan, and discover, and I'll get there. And that's the big difference, right? With the Five of Swords, you know, this is conflict, defeat, or loss, but it is also something that's totally recoverable. Okay, the Five of Swords says that as you deal with challenges, you will get much stronger. And that's the big thing with the Five of Swords. At the top of the pyramid, you have the death card. So this is transformation, okay? So it's not about death and dying. This is about transformation. This is about something changing, something ending, something completely going away, making way for something new in your life, okay? This is rebirth, and this is diving a little bit deep, or not a little bit, this is diving very deep to uncover kind of the source of maybe the fear here, or the source of maybe the confusion or the blindfoldedness, and thinking laterally to solve a problem. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Fool. No doubt about it, there's something new coming in here. There's not only a new chapter opening, there's an entirely new book on the bookshelf that you are starting. And it's exciting. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.